So you want to listen to a pretty alright podcast about wrestling, do ya?
Well, the natural lad, Jim Swag, has said time and time again that there's only one podcast that's the most decent and the most all-rightest in the industry today.
And that's it's the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. Oh, that's correct. Welcome back, everyone, to another fanciful episode of Game Rage Wrestling.
I am feeling sports entertained.
Oh, sports entertained. That is sports entertained. I'm Josh, here today with good buddy Adam.
Yes.
And today, we're going to talk about shit that happened on Raw. Maybe even just talk about how we feel like the SmackDown is definitely for sure the B show.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even. I mean, they tried to do some cinematic shit with Roman Reigns. Did you see that? The bowl.
Yes,
thing?
I did. We could talk about that too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
add that to the addendum. The addendum.
Yeah. Well, this episode's kind of like the current state of SmackDown versus Raw, I guess. This current episode as it is.
Yes.
So, but before we get into all that, if you want to listen to more of our stuff, you can go to YouTube and like, comment, and subscribe. Game Rage Magazine.
And you guys have been turning out for...
Oh, hell yeah, you've been turning out.
For the subscribers. Appreciated. Much appreciated.
Much appreciated. Much enjoyed. So happy. Many such cases. Additionally, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you want to follow Adam, you can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, and go check out the All Gas No Trash Game Rage music podcast.
Oh, yes.
It's fucking amazing. It's wonderful. And if you like animes and mangas
from the Japans,
and yes, general things from the Japans, you should go check out the Anime Syndicate podcast. And you can follow our good buddy Frank, who runs that show, over on Instagram at anime_syndicate_podcast, and only on Instagram at the current moment. Fun fact, Adam. I heard the other day that if you listen to Game Rage Magazine, you are 100% less likely to be a sexual assault victim of Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
True. My butthole is still intact.
As is mine. I have not been raped by Vince McMahon yet, so the facts speak for themselves.
I guess you can kind of figure out where this episode's heading. If you could.
Well, that's going to be the next episode.
Oh, wait, shit. Right, I mixed up the episodes. I got ahead of myself.
It's all right. You got ahead of yourself. It's okay.
My severance brain.
Is this?
And if you want to listen to the Game Rage Movies and TV podcast, you can go ahead and do so, as we are covering Severance Season 1 with the second season on the way on January 2025.
Indeed. Anyways, all right. Well, let's get into it.
Where do you want to start first?
I feel like we should probably start with the Raw stuff.
Because the SmackDown thing, I think technically...
It happened first.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Let's talk about that.
All right, let's do it.
So, SmackDown, to me, is it's just clearly the B show. It's not. It's like they almost don't give a shit. I feel like we're getting this stupid ass fucking rehash storyline. Oh wow! Now Roman Reigns is gonna tag. Cody Rhodes literally just fought a war against the Bloodline with his two buddies, Randy Orton and fucking Fat Owens. And now you're going to tell me that the only person who could come in and fucking save
Owens.
him... Oh, Slim Owens, that's true. Fucking Metformin... Oh, Ozempic Owens. Oh, dude, Ozempic Owens, man.
Double O.
So you're going to tell me that the only person that could come in and save Cody Rhodes is his arch rival, his arch nemesis, Roman Reigns. Okay, that's where we're at. We're at the war between the bloodlines featuring Cody Rhodes is essentially where we're at.
My favorite part was in previous weeks, he says, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
Somebody else can deal with the bloodline, or he's like, I don't want to be involved anymore. I'm like, motherfucker, I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
You need to get me out of this shit, because this better not be the main event of anything related to SmackDown or any future pay-per-views. I'm fucking done with this bullshit.
It won't be the main event, but it's going to be at Bad Blood.
It is going to be a bad.
This fucking match, we're going to see this stupid ass fucking. I don't know. Is it going to be a bloodline rules match again or some bullshit? Like, who the fuck knows? At this point, there's still another what? We're still like what two weeks away, 2 weeks and a couple of days away from shit. That's next Saturday. We're only like a week and some change away. So we only got 2 more episodes of SmackDown before we get to that. So who the fuck knows what's going to happen? But they did this little segment where they were in the Georgia Dome.
Not the Georgia Dome. It was Georgia Tech's
that's what
football
it is.
field.
The fucking football stadium, the college where fucking Roman Reigns played football. And Cody Rhodes is like, oh, he's an Atlanta boy. He comes around here. If you know what I'm saying, he's a hard-working Atlanta man.
His family, his legacy
has
been in Atlanta.
And so, essentially, they have this little square off. And the cinematicness of it was good, all right?
No, it wasn't. I hated it.
You hated the whole thing?
It feels like it was stolen out of AEW's playbook because they've done this shit before.
Right.
And they're adding this to their playbook.
Yeah, but they did it better.
Unfortunately, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I hate it because they stole it.
Right. But they did it way better than AEW did.
Yes.
And that's why I liked it. I'm like, God damn it, they fucking did it. They did it good.
But it's also kind of stupid because why the fuck are they going to meet in a goddamn field?
Who called this meeting, first of all?
Yeah.
Did Cody Rhodes say, hey, Roman, let's meet at your old fucking stomping grounds and my old stomping grounds. Let's meet in this stadium so that I can say a line about how you used to play football here.
Couldn't they just meet in the back alley of a stadium, like just outside the stadium of where SmackDown is happening? They have to meet at a goddamn football stadium? What the fuck?
SmackDown wasn't even in fucking Atlanta. Why were they even fucking there?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Atlanta, Bad Blood is going to happen in Atlanta.
But like, why? I don't even know why it's fuck.
When did they record this, by the way?
What the fuck, man? So I just the lines. Some of them were good, man. Some of them were pretty good lines that were said between the two of them. When Roman Reigns says at the end, like, you're in my way.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was funny as fuck because I knew exactly what he was going to say. Because when he says that, they pan out to show the whole fucking field, how he can literally go any direction he wants. And then Cody Rhodes, like, moves out of the way and says, no, you're in my way in life. And then he just fucking walks off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ah.
But then Cody Rhodes came in with that jab about how he predicted the fall of Roman Reigns. He was going to be a tribe without he was going to be a chief without a tribe.
Yeah.
And then he also doesn't have the title.
Right.
But it was the way he said it about he's like, oh, you think all these things belong to you, but he's like, you're a chief without a tribe, and this doesn't belong to you. I earned this shit. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, they have these cool little...
I'll give Cody Rhodes credit. I don't know how much of it was his doing as opposed to the way he was presented, but he did the job in this one, all right? He did a good job. I got to give him credit where credit's due. So...
You think we're going to get more of those? Well, obviously, because now that this has been incorporated, it's going to be on the table for, I'm guessing, for the main eventers, the guys that are worth having screen time for. Well, at least in this case, it's Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. But I don't know if this is, this can't be something that be thrown in every fucking pay-per-view. This is only when it's meaningful. Not to say that each pay-per-view isn't meaningful, but it's got to be for the pivotal shit. Like, this is...
I agree.
This is got to be used sporadically or sparsely throughout the year for the most meaningful storylines, because otherwise... This shit kind of comes across as a little too much. Like, this is wrestling, brother. Like, this is
yeah.
This isn't
dial it back.
Yeah.
All right. This isn't like the signing of a fucking.
This isn't deciding the fate of the world.
Right.
Like, yeah. It's fucking wrestling.
Dial it back a little, fella.
Yeah.
All right. Now, granted, for these instances, okay, even though I don't care about the storyline, all right, it kind of makes sense. Okay, for this. And I think the reason they're hyping this up like this for Bad Blood is because they're bringing back Bad Blood, and it's to hype and get further for Bad Blood, to bring back that this pay-per-view is going to be meaningful. this pay-per-view's theoretically going to, well, it's not, I don't think it's going to end feuds, but it's going to finalize chapters of feuds. It's going to finalize this chapter of the Bloodline deal. This chapter. It's not going to end the feud because they're going to keep this till fucking WrestleMania probably. This fucking, I don't know, Bloodline shit. Because now after Cody Rhodes is after what's his name? The fucking idiot who's in charge, Solo Sikoa. After he's done with now dealing with Cody Rhodes, it'll just be him and Roman Reigns fighting over the control of the Bloodline, or the new Bloodline versus the old Bloodline. That's what we're gonna get. This is when we're jumping the shark here and getting into NWO outstaying its welcome territory, where we have NWO Red fighting NWO Classic, and that's where shit gets off the rails.
The only way this shit makes sense with the goddamn Bloodline is if it ends up being some Game of Thrones Targaryen shit, where it's like, whoever ends up becoming tribal chief is losing their goddamn mind. And basically nobody can be tribal chief. So then they dissolve the bloodline or having any kind of semblance of a stable.
Yeah.
Because too many Samoans, too many cooks in one fucking kitchen.
Too many Samoans.
Ends up giving you the Samoan madness.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't think there's too many Samoans. I just think that they shouldn't put all the Samoans in one gimmick. Like or in one stable. Like you got to spread them out a little bit. And I don't know what's next for these other idiots that are in the new Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, they'll try to do something with him solo. Literally, he'll be solo. But, I mean, obviously, Jimmy and Jay they're gonna join up with the Roman Reigns again. That's what's gonna happen.
yes, and also, unfortunately, it's starting to be revealed. I mean, if it wasn't already evident, because they're just not that fucking interesting, and they just needed the numbers to fill out the stable.
Yeah.
Tongaloa and Tama Tonga are not that fucking interesting, and they're not going to make it. They're not going to make. They need this stable to basically exist in WWE. So this is going to be a long play for as long as it needs to exist. And after the fact, I don't think they're going to be around. I don't think they're going to be anything meaningful. Jacob Fatu, on the other hand, I think is somebody that's going to be stick around, going to be a solo or singles competitor that is worth keeping around. He's like an unhinged, I don't know, fucking unstable. What's his name?
Umaga, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit on the leaner side.
Yeah.
But I feel like the reason that this thing has been propelled for so long or pushed forward for so long is because maybe we find out some of these guys aren't really that interesting. Like in the case of Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. And also, you're kind of, if you end up bringing back the Bloodline tag team of Jey Uso and Jimmy, the originals, fuck, man, that's a real goddamn disservice to them, because this is all they're going to be relegated to, is to be tag teams once more so that they could save the day, or they could, be the deciding factor between this. What's going to end up happening is, we probably already know, War Games for Survivor Series
is going to be the Bloodline fucking finale or whatever.
Yeah.
So, again, basically meaning that this match is going to mean nothing, essentially, in the long run. It's just delaying the inevitable end of the feud featuring Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's the best thing that SmackDown is going for.
That's what it's got. That's all it's got. I mean, goddamn. I don't know what the fuck LA Knight's doing. Who's he feuding with right now?
I forget his name, but it's the Cien Almos.
Yeah. Fucking that dickhead.
Andrade.
Yeah.
He changes his goddamn name like every
promotion he goes to. And then they just were
Cien
like
Almos, dude.
And then they were just like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just keep him the same. Let's just keep his name in WWE.
So that happened with SmackDown with the segment. And then we have the more interesting bit, and I don't think this is going to be exclusive to Raw. I think it'll be something that'll play into SmackDown as well. But I showed you a clip earlier before we got to the episode, and it was the opening of Raw itself. And I think, to me, this is an indication that this is further ingraining us that the line between reality and fantasy is being blurred even further, because we had the opening segment of everybody being tracked by a camera, And then we get to the segment where Dominic and Liv Morgan roll up in the lowrider that is obviously an homage to Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, right?
Yeah.
And then the thing that kind of adds to the suspension of reality, is that the right phrase?
Suspension of disbelief.
Suspension of disbelief. You have Bronson Reed. Is that his name?
Yeah, Braun Strowman.
Oh my God, am I forgetting his name?
No,
Bronson
Braun
Reed,
Strowman.
right?
Yeah, and Bronson Reed.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Bronson Reed tackles Braun Strowman into this merch booth. I was just like, kind of
For some reason, just set up in the back,
in the port areas. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
like,
I don't know what that
like
that was
the
about.
superstar entrance.
Yeah.
And there's like, what are they gonna buy merch? Like,
Yeah, but this is all done in one camera take.
Yeah.
And that like leads to Dominic and Liv Morgan eventually making their way to the ring, and we know it's choreographed technically.
right.
But it looks more haphazard than it does choreographed.
It does. They made it look so good too, because they're just like walking in, all of a sudden just
Yeah.
and then all these refs come out of fucking nowhere, like they were following them the whole time.
Yeah.
And then Dominic and Liv just look at it and go, meh. And then they just keep fucking walking. And then they follow them as they walk. You hear their music, they walk into the gorilla position, and then they just walk straight out. They literally just walked into the arena and they walk straight out there. Like, that's fucking cool.
It makes it look real. Like,
Yeah.
this is all happening in real
Yeah.
time and shit.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is fucking excellent.
That is.
That is some good ass, what do you want to call it?
I mean, that's storytelling, man.
yeah,
Like,
it's great storytelling. It's the suspension of disbelief. It makes us believe that all things are happening in real time. It's not just scripted. So,
Yeah.
I guess I was completely enamored with the opening segment of Raw and how possibly things quality-wise are changing for the better, at least for Raw. Yet to see that for SmackDown yet, but
Yeah.
at least for this particular case, I'm like, this is good. This is one of the things. This is one of the changes for the better. If they got out of advertising in the ring and just did that within the television episodes, I'd be cool with that. So the fucking pay-per-views. No ads in the rings. It's very distracting. I don't fuck with that. But
Yeah, yeah.
at least this is
Agreed.
a change for the better.
I agree, and I'm 100% behind it. I think that again, we're just preparing for the product to go through. This is the beginnings of a change as when it goes to Netflix next year, and it's going to be different. I don't know how or what exactly, but we're seeing stuff kind of happen right now that's showing us the inklings of that. And I'm always excited when there's change in how things are done, or how wrestling as a product is evolving.
Oh, there's one other thing I forgot to mention. They've also started incorporating like these arena shots, like these B shots that show the outside of the arena, or it feels more sports oriented.
Yeah.
More like at the NFL, right? When they cut back to the football game and you just see those B shots, they're starting to make wrestling look like that, like a UFC fight or So it makes it feel more important, I suppose.
Right, yeah. It makes it feel weight.
It also makes the product presented in a more presentable way, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's good. I think it's a good thing, too. And then also we were going to get into the other thing that happened on Raw, which was the Yeet Boy winning the Intercontinental Championship from Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I gotta say, I wasn't honestly. I wasn't expecting it.
Real quick. Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. There's too many motherfuckers that sound the same.
Yeah, there are quite a few people with the same arrangement of letters.
We need to get away from that. Jesus Christ.
That's like Stan Lee syndrome, dude. When he's with Bruce Banner, Peter Parker.
The alliteration. Jesus Christ.
He's got some kind of weird thing with the R sound.
Yeah. Braun, Barack. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
I think maybe it's like the hard syllable sounds that
could be.
you make people look more imposing with like a name like Braun Breaker or
Braun Strowman. Fuck, why would you give anybody the same fucking
Lesnar.
name? Yeah. Why would you give anybody the name that sounds the same? Like, that's weird. But anyways, Yeah, old
Jey Uso.
Yeety. Jey Uso, the yeet boy. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt like this was a little premature.
Premature, huh?
I kind of felt like they took the belt off old Braun Breaker a little early. Now, if they're going to trade the title back and forth a couple of times, okay. I mean, maybe. But also, you just beat the guy who beat fucking Gunther, the longest reigning champion, right?
Oh, yeah, that was offensive. A little bit offensive, but it's also kind of a good thing because this is a break from the 666-day reign of Gunther. So now this is the period of trading hands. But I feel like in order to escalate this, because it only seems like one other person is going for the IC title, we need a Mexican standoff. We need a third man or a fourth man. Like, people are really invested in getting the IC title, and it's not just Jey Uso and fucking Braun Breaker. Like, we need a handful of guys to be convinced that this is a title that people want. This is a title that Gunther made prestigious and people want it.
Right. And I did feel like this was a little. I mean, it was cool to see a title change happen on Raw, but I felt like it was just too quick, man. I feel like this was his first title defense, and he dropped it immediately. Granted, I know he's young or whatever, and like he'll get it back or whatever the case is. But Jesus Christ, this kind of seems like you're undercutting. You built Braun Breaker up to be this like next Goldberg or whatever you want to call him, like this unstoppable force. And he drops the belt on his first fucking defense.
It could be a good thing because it makes him look naive that he's breaking into the business or whatever.
Yeah.
And that his emotions got the best of him. So somebody like Jey Uso, who's experienced, more or less manipulated him, not in any real sense, but rather that he's more experienced, he's more seasoned in the business and wrestling, so he would know how to navigate that. But then that also kind of makes Sami Zayn look stupid because he's also been around for 10 or 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, he's been around just as long as fucking Jey Uso has. So what was the difference there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just makes it seem like, he just got lucky.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see. I mean, he's probably going to get a rematch, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. And if that ends up being anything that helps him, I guess, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, the thing that's kind of worrisome is that Jey Uso had the chance to actually win one of the main event titles prior to winning the IC title, right?
Yeah.
Which is a title that his father held, Rikishi.
Yeah.
So that also doesn't bode well for me personally. When Jey Uso had the opportunity to be, world heavyweight champion, whatever the main title he was going after was, if he didn't win it then, and then to win the IC title, that feels like that's probably the end of the road for him. Because Jey Uso, while he's over as fuck, are we realistically going to see Jey Uso take one of the main titles of either program?
No, because by the time he would maybe be potentially ready to do that, they're going to have thrown the Usos back together again, and we're going to get the Usos reunion tour.
Yeah, I mean, the odd thing with like Jey Uso, and I hate to say it, LA Knight is Jey Uso, but Jey Uso has like numerous titles or title reigns as tag team champion, but like he has a ceiling because they're probably like roughly the same age, but I feel like his window for reaching the main event title, or rather getting the main event title, this doesn't help. Like winning the IC title is a good and bad thing because he gets to win the same title his father won, but at the same time it's like, oh man, you're getting this at the end of your fucking career? Shit, are we lucky enough to get? Yeah. Are we going to be lucky enough to get a main event title for Jey Uso in the future? I don't think so.
No, I think he's kind of now, I think, relegated to mid-card title status, I guess, and tag team status is what it feels like. So, sucks, but it is what it is.
Yep.
So, anyways, fuck. We'll see what happens with this storyline. I don't know where the fuck they're going with this, but we'll see. Anyways, you got anything else?
No.
Excellent. Well, anyways, that'll do it for us on this episode. If you want to listen to more of our stuff, you can go to YouTube. YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe at Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Additionally, if you want to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and you can follow our good buddy Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. That's it for us. We'll catch you little bastards on the next one.
You little bastards.
That was another wonderful, amazing, powerful episode of the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. And take it from me, ladies and gentlemen, the natural lad, Jet Swag. If there's one podcast, one show you should be listening to, that you should be absolutely grateful for, it's the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. And one of the things you can do to show your appreciation for all the hard work and dedication that these boys put out day in, day out, just for you people, it's that you can go and you can subscribe and you can like and follow them on the Instagram and the TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. You can also follow them and like them and subscribe to them on the old Twitter, which I don't know what it's called now, but who cares? It's at Game Rage Mag there. Additionally, if you feel the need to really show your appreciation, which you should, then go to their website at www.GameRageMagazine.com and show us some love. Show them some love. And show some love for the natural lad, Jet Swag.